Thank you for joining us at Peak Season Cuisine again. Today we're making bechamel. I'm Ioana, Raven.
Hi.
And today we're making a very, very simple, basic white sauce. Let's get started. So right here I only have 1 tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to heat it up and melt it down. And again, we are using the electric stove tops, as we're going to do with all the mother sauces. Melt these puppies down. So if you see over here, we have the milk, which is 1 cup's worth, and the flour. I have an extra flour just in case if I need more, but it's only 1 tablespoon that I need, because it's, again, to make a blonde roux, which is what we're going to be making in here, we're going to need equal parts. So 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 tablespoon of flour. We're going to wait for this to heat up just a little bit.
Yeah, and the roux is, you know, it's 50% fat, 50% flour. So even if you can't have butter, you can always do it with olive oil or something.
Correct, or coconut butter even.
Yeah.
Healthier choice. I'm going to start adding just a little bit of flour. Just a little bit at a time.
Talk about the safety net here, folks. The safety net.
Again, it's just better to do a little at a time than just throwing it all in there. You can if you want, but the thing is, it's easier to add more flour than it is to add more butter. And with bechamel, there's 3 ways. There's thin bechamel, medium bechamel, and thick bechamel. And today I'm going to be making thin, but it's just simple measurements, and I will put the recipe down below. So that if you want to make a thin or a thick or even just a medium, you can. Making a blonde roux, you just cook it for about between 1 minute to 2 minutes. You just want to cook out the flour. You don't want that starch flavor in your sauce.
No. It's
not exactly the best flavor
for
it. So I'm just cooking it out. And again, just about 1 minute.
Alright, so bechamel, it starts with cream or milk. I mean, cream is usually preferable. You want something with a relatively decent fat content. We have whole milk here. Otherwise, you end up with a kind of sweet, you know, not so flavorful bechamel. We're going for rich. So that is our whole milk, and we're going to be incorporating that into our roux.
And again, we're just going to add a little at a time. You don't want to add too much, otherwise you're going to not enjoy it.
You're going to end up with dumplings instead of, you know, instead of the good stuff.
And again, don't add on until all the lumps are gone. You want
Exactly.
this beautiful sauce right there. And if you add it all at once and it's too thick, then all of a sudden you're stuck without any liquid and you're going to have to go run and get some more. You really, really want to do a little at a time. That's what we're looking for right there. Something
That's beautiful.
creamy. And this is 1 cup. I don't know if I stated it before, but it's 1 cup of milk to 1 tablespoon butter to 1 tablespoon flour. It's a very, very simple sauce.
Yeah.
And again, this is just a basic. You know, from this sauce you can make relatively anything.
This is the best sauce for making cheese sauce.
It really is. You want to make your homemade mac and cheese, this is the way to do it.
Yes. The sauce is bakeable. You can pour it right out of the pan if you don't want to bake your mac and cheese. It's very versatile. This is great on fish. You know, the French sometimes add this to sandwiches. It's great, very versatile, very delicious sauce. And you can flavor this with anything. We've made curried bechamel before. For pouring over smoked salmon. I mean, that was incredible.
The Greeks use bechamel for a dish called pasticcio. And it's basically the cream is just poured right over and then baked off with pasta and meat.
Delicious.
Now you're basically just cooking it until it just thickens to what you want it to. Again, we're using the thin method. We want a thin bechamel sauce. And I'm just going to turn it down right now because it's getting a little too high.
Yeah, you don't want it to get too high, otherwise you will end up breaking your bechamel. You'll end up with a skin. None of those things are delicious things that you want.
No, it really isn't. Turn it down just a tad bit more. It looks about right. I'm going to grab a spoon to double check that this is the texture that I want. With a medium and thick, it's obviously easier to notice if this is the texture you want, but with a thin one, you want a nappe consistency. So, spoon.
Go a line through, and see the line is not disappearing, it's not being converged upon by the rest of the sauce, which means that sauce is thick enough. And that is beautiful. Look how glossy that is.
So now that it's thick enough, I'm gonna now add my salt. And a little bit of white pepper, because again, I don't want to use black pepper because I don't want those black specks in there. I want it to stay white.
If you want the black flecks in there, by all means, you can go ahead and do that, but this is the more traditional way of preparing bechamel.
Now I'm just going to double check and make sure that the salt. Yep.
Good stuff.
It's good stuff. It's ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding some cheese in there and a little bit of garlic because I love garlic. And I'm just going to add it into my pasta. Thank you again for watching Peak Season Cuisine. Stay tuned.
Bye guys!